bankrupting their families in the event of a serious illness. Those are the two issues. We've made a good start this year. I think a lot of people are thinking about those issues. There'll be a lot more discussion during the coming years. Okay, now we've just moved about 50 feet here, and behind us is some of the campus of the University of Vermont. And the city's relationship to UVM has also been an issue over the last couple of years, and in some ways it's a parallel issue to the medical center. There is no question that the University of Vermont has an enormous impact on our community, both in many instances a positive impact in terms of the cultural and intellectual activities which they provide, in some cases a negative impact. Most noteworthy the fact that the city is obliged to provide many hundreds of thousands of dollars of services to the university in terms of police protection, fire protection, and other city services. And like the Medical Center Hospital of Vermont, there is no real payment to the city. Last year we did negotiate with UVM some payment, which will be approximately $50,000, I believe, this year for fire fees. It's a start. Clearly we have a long way to go. So I think the issue with UVM, once again, is similar to the medical center in that with University of Vermont, what you clearly have is a statewide and a regional facility. It is not a Burlington facility. Should the people of Burlington be obliged to subsidize the University of Vermont, or is that a responsibility for all of the people in the region, all of the people in the state? It is not a Burlington college. That's the first issue. The second issue, which is a little bit different, and one excuse me, which interests me, is if you look at the state of Vermont from an intellectual point of view, and you say, okay, where is the intellectual leadership? Where is the institution that provides that leadership? It should be the University of Vermont. And I think it's a fair discussion to say, what role is the university playing in that regard? Is it providing that intellectual leadership? Are they asking the hard questions that they should be asking? Or really, are they, rather than asking those questions, are they part of the establishment themselves? Who sits on the Board of Trustees of the University of Vermont? And I think if you begin to think about that issue in those ways, you'll find, like the medical center, by the way, and there seems to be almost the revolving door policy that the people who sit on the Medical Center Board of Trustees end up at the University of Vermont, and very often they are some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the community itself. And I think at a time when tuition is going up, at a time when the people of the state of Vermont put approximately $25 million a year into the university, I think it's timely to examine what we're getting out of that investment, what role the University of Vermont Medical School plays in terms of our state. So I think that's an ongoing discussion, and those are the two separate issues there. Number one, from a financial and tax point of view, the relationship of UVM to the city. Should the city of Burlington alone be subsidizing that institution through tax-exempt policy forced on us by the state? And second of all, the intellectual role that the University of Vermont is playing in our community. And I should point out, maybe as we leave this area, that the viewers will recall that several years ago in Burlington we placed the question on the ballot. And we said to the people of Burlington, how do you feel about UVM and the medical center paying 25% in taxes of what they would pay if they were not tax exempt? The people of Burlington voted 60-40 for that policy, but the state legislature refused to allow us to carry it out.